what is the difference between the tax regime under the new Nomad visa and the tax regime under the Beckham Law? Generally speaking, I'm sure there's a lot, but just top line.
No,
Yeah.
it's not a difference. I mean,
Okay.
now under the Beckham regime, one of the alternatives in order to apply for the Beckham regime is that you qualify as a Nomad visa. Before, you could not apply for the regime under that circumstance. Now it's been created this new visa, which is called the Nomad visa, and you can apply for the Beckham regime if you had made and you have succeeded applying for this type of visa. So basically, as I was telling you before, Spain is looking to attract new talent to Spain, and this is why they are creating new options in order to apply for the Beckham regime. So it's the same. The Nomad visa is a type of visa that allows you to reside in Spain, and then once you reside in Spain, if you become a tax resident of Spain, you can apply for the Beckham regime through that route if you have your visa, so long as you comply with 13 requirements. But it's the same.
Right, but so once you apply, in a way, you are treated as if, even though you are a tax resident, you're treated as if you are not, and therefore it's not that your worldwide income will be subject to tax, but very specific sources of income. Yeah, but so I'm just thinking that the Nomad, just from a process point of view, it appears, and you guide me if I'm mistaken, that the Nomad visa route is it's easier, in that with the Beckham rule, you'd need to have an employer in Spain. So you need to go through working with a law firm, an accounting firm, to perhaps structure a company that then will pay you, and that you cannot own, which you cannot own, of course. But it seems like some sort of arrangements would be needed, whereas with the Nomad route, those arrangements don't necessarily need to be in place. Am I correct in saying that?
Kind of. Yeah, there are different alternatives in order to apply for the Beckham regime. So you can go, I mean, if you go through the employment route, let's say, you can apply for the Beckham regime if you become an employee of a Spanish company. You can also apply for the Beckham regime if you are an employee of a foreign entity and you are on an international assignment into Spain.
Yes.
Therefore, it is your company that is assigning you into Spain with a letter of assignment to Spain. And you can also apply for the Beckham regime if you are a digital nomad, as you were saying, when you are relocated into Spain, even if your company is not instructing you to do so, but because you want to enjoy weather or gastronomy or etc. Also, you can apply these are some routes. You have also the possibility to apply for the Beckham regime if you are the director, if you are the administrator of a Spanish company, so long as this company is engaged in a business activity. In case not, I mean, if you are the director or administrator of a Spanish company, which is a passive holding entity, you cannot hold more than 25% of that entity. If it is active, irrespective of your percentage of ownership in that entity, you can apply for the regime. Also, you can apply for the regime if you are creating an entrepreneurial activity in Spain. Also, you can apply for the regime if you are a high-skilled professional who is rendering services to startups in Spain. I mean, there is a range of different alternatives in order to apply for the Beckham regime. So the message I would say is that there are different alternatives. Depending on the profile of the client, we can explore the different alternatives to determine which one fits best, because there are 13 requirements to apply. But broadly speaking, now the regime is much more attractive because there are many more options to apply for the regime. And as you were saying before, I mean, once your regime has been granted, it is very, very efficient. I mean, foreign source income is not subject to tax, irrespective of the taxation rights that can have the country of source of that income, as opposed to Portugal, for example, to the Portugal non-habitual residence regime in Spain. Irrespective of whether there are taxation rights in the country of source of that income, Spain is not going to subject that income if it is of a foreign source. Also, irrespective of the type of income that you derive, for example, capital gains, it doesn't matter if they are long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains, as opposed to Italy, for example. Spain is not going to tax them. So, I mean, it's quite attractive. You need to do it well. But so long as you do it well, it's very attractive, I would say.
Okay, fantastic.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.